Welcome to what will be the last part in this series where we are playing Reforged Eden for Empyrion Galactic Survival. Now, the reason for bringing this series to the end is the fact that the 1.10 update has been released into vanilla. And on the end of the last video, I asked the question to you guys whether you wanted to see a vanilla start. And the overall consensus is that you would. And I have to admit, the more I thought about it, the more intrigued I was about what the changes are to the beginning and the new missions. So I'm in general agreement with you guys over the fact that maybe it's time to restart. This is always the dilemma when you play game Reforged, especially when you think that now there's actually three versions of the game, which is the vanilla game, Reforged Eden, and Star Salvage. So in some ways it's three games in one, and as these get updated and changed, there's always a temptation to take a look at them. In fact, if I had the time, I would probably do three series, although I'll be honest, it would be absolutely confusing with respect to keeping track of what's going on because each game is subtly different. So what we're going to do for this last part, well, what I want to do is something that's always had my curiosity, because one of my ambitions is to actually start on the very hard start, which is, I think, is in Purgatory. And I've never been able to get that start done as a played series. I've messed about with it off camera. So I thought what we're going to do in this final part is go take a look at Purgatory and see what it's actually like and what the situation is. You can see I've already selected the planet or sector just to give us a bit of an advantage. So we're just going to go to Purgatory and see what we can find. So we've just come into the system, throw out a scan, lots of wreckage up in space. But first thing we're going to do is just head for the planet. I think we've got a couple of moons as well. Okay, welcome back. I've decided to take a slight diversion, take a quick look at this wreckage. We've also found a Xeno supply station, but I'm not seeing any hostiles as such. Famous last word. So what we're going to do is just kind of go up against the wreckage here, just so that we can take a quick look, see what this wreckage actually is. So it's just curiosity. Looks like it's just a series of modules. It's just a bit. We just go take a quick look at what this actually is. Oh. If I've got the EVA boost on, that's good. And just out the roof entrance. Now I do like this roof entrance for operating in space. Get through. Yeah, I mean there's a those are steel plates, so it's not. I'm not really seeing it as there's the core there. There might be some better loot in there. What we got there? So it's nothing to write home with. I'm in the Pentaxid. Take the Pentaxid. I know it's not necessary, but some habits are hard to change. Yeah, I mean, interesting, but I wouldn't say it's going to be something that's. I mean, I suppose if you're starting on Purgatory, and then maybe it is quite an essential resource to exploit. So we'll just jump back in the thing. We'll just head for Purgatory again. So I'll see you once we start to break through the atmosphere. I just switched the inertia drive back on, and we're just about to break through the atmosphere and see what we can find. I found a wrecked small vessel. And it'd be quite interesting to actually find the starting location. So there's the cryo facility over there. Now, for any of you who are not familiar with the Purgatory start, what you do is you start in the cryo facility, and you wake up there, and there's some resources actually scattered on the actual and there's some resources inside of the cryo facility. And then what you've got to do as when you first start, you've got to go out and then you survive. I can't remember whether you've actually got a spacesuit or not. I think what we'll do is we'll just use the SV. I think would be probably the best way to explore. So well, just come in here. Thrusters on. We got resources. Can't remember if there's actually any hostiles on it. So if we go over here, here's the actual cryo facility, and it says, I think it says here, survival priorities, loot nearby, and you can't actually get inside of this. And then so once you leave the cryo facility, you're on your own. But there's these different resources here. So we've got supply caches, engine compartments. And so basically the initial survival when you play Purgatory is the fact that you've got to go around and like grab these supply depots here. I can't remember if it's actually called or not. Let me see. Actually, what is the... yeah, the oxygen is a key supply resource as well. Got the cryo facility there. We've got oxygen. Can't remember. Yeah, you can take the oxygen out straight away because you're going to need that. And of course, one of the downside is if you take the oxygen out like this, you get them in containers, which means you can't put them in the suit. But that oxygen is quite important for staying alive. I can't remember, where is the supply caches? Yeah, fresh shuttle. Supply cache there, there's one over there. And come here. If I remember correctly, you can't actually use the blueprints on this planet. I think blueprints are actually disabled. So what you've got to do is actually build a very simple ship to get out off the surface and survive. Yeah, and these are the supply caches. And of course, it's easy for me to cruise around like this because one, I'm in the SV, and two, I've got a long-range scanner. So you can see that basically these supply caches just have very basic resources. Oh, I got undelivered cargo. Not that if you're in a survival mode, this would actually help. Now, I'm not sure whether this would change if you were starting to see metal scrap again. And I think these are the ones you really got to look for. There we are. This is the what you could call your starter stuff. So what this does is it gives you a multi-tool charge. You can see you've got a core here. You get a portable constructor, because I don't think there's any resources on here. In fact, we'll just take everything. And more importantly, you get yourself a little oxygen bottle there. You see you get a small constructor, a fuel tank, and a generator, which you would then have to put those there. So you'd end up with that. But of course, you'd have to haul that the hard way. I don't think you can destroy the core. All the core. These are admin cores, so you can't actually destroy the cores on these caches. And then dealing with all the various terrain, what you're looking for is a crashed shuttle. I don't think there are. No, there's definitely no resources on the planet. And what you'd be looking to do is find a crashed shuttle like this, because this would be your operational base. So what you're looking for is something like this. Yeah. And what you'd have to do is get into here. I don't think there's any much in here. It's not even airtight, so you'd have to make it airtight to begin with. Some stuff in there, and so I don't really want to lug everything around. And that. What you need to do is actually make this airtight so that you can survive. You can see it's still at -28 outside. Then this would be the core of a base which you can survive in. So until you can build an HV to explore and then this SV to get off the surface. I don't think there's enough resources on this planet to actually build a CV. We can have a look round, see what we got. You can see all the different supply caches. Just go for that one. And just kind of uncover the planet and see what's going on. Oops. We got a small wrecked vessel over there. I don't know. I will check out the other supply cache here. As I said, I've done the initial kind of run round survival type thing on this start, but I've never played it extensively. So it's always these. Well, it's a bit tight-fisted, isn't it? Nothing in there. Not good. Oops, current again. Crash shuttle engine compartment. Where's that? It says wreck small vessel. I think you can. For some reason it's gone very dark here. It says junk over there as well. Very dark area here. Can't even see it. It's just up here. Wow, that's a nice looking ship. Now if you could repair that and get it off the ground, you can see it's just gonna be a source of capability. Can you call this? No, cannot place a second core. Okay. It's actually got a core on it. Interesting. Can't take it over. I mean, it's got an alien core in it. Definitely a good source of blocks, which would make it. I mean, this would finding this would definitely give you the resources to build a fairly big ship. The problem will be is the CPU limit. Some RCSs. I'm not seeing any thrusters though. But you would certainly get the necessary, and I've just got myself trapped. Seem to be trapped. Okay. I seem to have got myself stuck in the ship, guys. The only way I'm going to get out of this is if I go into here. God mode. It should let me walk out of the ship. I think it's I got caught in this little section here. God mode. God mode's got a number of different uses, but getting out of when you get trapped like that is one slight advantage. There's junk, so it's just going to see what. I mean, this has got an admin core in it. I think a lot of the stuff on here actually have an admin core. What have we got here? Multi-tool. And computer. It's all basically it's all the basic components for. So it looks like there's a bit more of a range of resources in the junk pile. And of course, because it's admin core, you can't just pull it all apart for the steel plates and that. That over there. That more was part of the junk. Have a look. Yeah. Box here, but I don't think there's going to be giving you any loot. Yeah, and you got the beginnings of a base, but it would take a lot to pull this together as a base. You can see it's absolutely black in here. There's various other bits and pieces. That's the crash ships. And we're jumping the ship. So, green, oops. I don't think green. I think if we get out of the dark patch here, we'll be okay. A little bit of pentaxid there. Heat signature, supply cache. I don't think there's anything really significant on this start. So we got something down there. It says heat signature. We go that. We'll just take a look at that. Some red dots here. What is this? This might be a resource. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is a source of pentaxid. Probably also radiation. So we'll just see what this one is. Right, looks like we've got a bunker here. I think bunkers might be a source of ammunition or something like that. You can see how dark this start actually is. This is one reason why I've always been reluctant to do it. Because operating in the dark's always been a fairly big issue. Now, I think there's the entrance there, so I mean, this could be a base. Fire chambers. Some water. So, I think this looks obviously a source of survival supplies. I suppose the water would be quite useful. Obviously a lot of water in here. Yeah. Basic medicine, cures for indigestion. Looks very much like food would be a fairly big issue as well. Okay. Alright, let's just go over and see, because this heat signature here is indicating that it's got an admin core in it. So I'm curious to see why you'd have an admin core and a heat signature. Okay, another little dark patch here with pentaxid on it. This looks a little bit bigger. Oh no, it's just the patch of radioactivity stuff here. So just go into here. Oh, this is a debris field. This is, oh, I don't know if you can see it. It's quite a big area, and it should be full of some pretty good loot. You put down there. So yeah, this would be a major find if you were doing this start. Again, you'd walk round. Oh, look at that! We found a hover bike. That would be a really good find now. Again, the admin core. You get the oxygen out again, so that's good. Small constructor components. Onyx. Again, it's all general loot, but I'm not seeing anything yet that would be useful with respect to actually getting off the ground. So you'd have to build a very simple SV to actually get out and around. I don't think, as far as I know, there are no crash ships on this planet. Right, what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to fly around a little bit and see what I can find, and then maybe we'll go and check out the moon. So just coming up here, we've got a supply cache here. So it looks like there's a whole group of supply caches here. Just stop down and just take a look at what could be in here. I'm just curious. Haha. Yeah, I mean, this is so there's a whole range of bits and pieces here. I'm getting whacked by just come out here. So I just want to confirm that maybe these are just all supply caches. Yeah, there's another one there. So I would say that what we've got up here is a whole raft of supply caches, possibly small vessels. In fact, let's just go up and take a look at this group here. Yeah, we just found another supply cache there. And if we push through, I'm just curious to find out what else is in this area, because it's got quite a high level of another supply cache there. We've got another wrecked small vessel, which obviously would be a source of one. That the same as the one we saw? Is this just another different variation? Let's just take a quick look at this. Right, this one's actually got some thrusters on it, and we can actually core it. So there are coreable ships available, and so there are the resources to build a very simple SV. And you can see, I mean, we've still got quite a lot to explore. I think just to finish off, we're going to go up into space and we're going to go and visit the moon. But I think rather than how much have I got in the way of resources? Yeah, we've got the resources for survive. I think we've got oxygen, got fuel. Yep. I think rather than go all the way back to the capital vessel, I think what we'll do is we'll go to the moon with the SV, which is the way that this scenario would start. I've got food as well, but I just got to make sure. A bit crazy to starve to death. Yeah. Eat a burger. So we'll just go and kind of emulate what would happen if you were playing this start. So here we are. Up in space, where's the moon? There's two moons actually. Yes. There's Purgatory Moon 1, so we'll just go to that one. It's 12 kilometers away, so I'll see you once I approach the moon. So here we are, we're just coming up on the moon. Just finish the drive on and we'll go through. And so right, it's broken through the atmosphere. And of course it goes without saying that we've come down in hostile territory, right on top of the drone base by the look of it. So we need to get away from that quickly. And just take a look at the moon. Oh, we got a nice range of resources on here. We got silicon, iron, cobalt, magnesium, titanium, and pentaxid. So there's a whole raft of resources on the moon. So obviously the pattern is that you'll be expected to get there. We've got cannon drones as well, just to make life a little bit interesting. Can't see a thing because it's pitch black. So there's cannon drones patrolling. What I'm really interested to find out is whether there's any crash ships on here, because if you're going to have to build a CV to escape this system, you're really going to need to be able to get some thrusters. So that's what I'm quite interested in. It's a pentaxid deposit. Didn't even see that guy coming up. Got some shots, so it'd be fairly exciting actually taking here. We've got lots of radar signatures. Just around. We've got a heat signature over there. That's what we're more interested in. Because the radar signatures should be mineral deposits, and the heat signatures should be potential crash ships. Although that doesn't. That's a bit day glow. That looks a little bit like a. Got an Azure platform. Seeing anything? Curiosity. Looks a little bit like a patrol ship base, but underneath it, can't core it. It's difficult to see it, and if I put this on, we'll get that horrible glow. Wow, that's a bit much. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that actually is, but we'll just move on. Again, just back to green. It looks like there's some possibly some Polaris here, so just go and check them out. Oops. I think there's actually 2 moons in this. It comes with, it's actually 2 moons, so maybe you'll be required to actually check out both moons. Right, so we obviously got the Polaris Megacorp. We've got a radar antenna here. Polaris landing pad. Oh, looks pretty neat. Mining towers. Okay. We got a crashed Wokan. What is a crashed Wokan? It looks like it's a. This looks a bit more promising. just take a quick look at this. But we can actually core this as well. So we'll just core on it very quickly. See what we got here. Yeah, now we're looking a bit more serious. We got 6 or 5 thrusters, fuel tanks, retractable self crew station, large generator. Yeah, so this is the source for building the first CV to get off. Ventilators, passenger seats, equipment, doors. Not seeing anything. Armor locker. Yeah. And a small constructor. Yeah, so this is, I mean, there might even be some special loot lockers in here as well. That's the thruster there. So this is where you need to get to be able to start putting together a capital vessel. Okay, it's getting a bit bright, so get back to lighting. We've got a little group of resources here and another heat signature there. This very small titanium deposit. Got a whole group of there, but what I'm interested in is the heat signature. There's an artifact there. So no idea what an artifact is. Drop down and take a quick look at this. It looks like it might just be an alien artifact. Crouch down. No, it just looks like a random couple of blocks in the middle of nowhere on a moon. So we've got a whole group of stuff here down in the south. What we'll do is we'll just keep going west for the moment and see if I can find another ship. And I think just to kind of in order to make sense that we will gotcha. Yeah, I mean, he was actually firing upwards as well. Quite interesting. Just go again. Because of course the standard attack for hitting drones is to hit from above. What we'll do now is just go down and loot him. I would like to see what the type of loot you'd get from killing a minigun drone. I like the range, 425 meters. That's quite a nice range. But then we are on a moon. We're just thank you. Gunship. Nothing exceptional. We got a couple of power coils. Cannon drone there. Radar signature. Radar signature. Okay guys, welcome back. I've been flying around the moon here. I'm not finding a lot in the way of okay guys, welcome back. I've been exploring the moon a little bit more. We've had a lot of some resources up here, but it looks like the crash ship is quite thin on the ground. So I'm kind of half wondering whether I just want to take a look at a small vessel, warp drive, plastic tubes, cobalt alloy, energy regulators, steel computers, electronics. I'm wondering whether the best way to get out of Purgatory would be to build a warp enabled actual SV rather than trying to get a capital vessel, because so far on this moon I've only found the one capital vessel, which I can't even remember where it is now. It's here somewhere. Maybe it's disappeared. Artifact. So maybe that is the way to escape from Purgatory, is to build a warp-enabled SV. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Have you got any opinions on whether that's the way forward on a Purgatory mission? Feel free to chuck in the comments. And I'd like to say a big thank you for any of you who stuck with me and followed all the series. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. And I hope that, mate, you will come along and join me as we explore the new start for the vanilla game. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.